Hey guys, this is Vysh from Vysh IAS and we are going to continue our History NCERT series. So we are doing class 8 part 2 and this will be the last chapter. So we'll be done with class 8 with this video and then we have to start class 9. Okay, class 9 will be much more of world history, like top three chapters. I think it's world history, where we'll see the French Revolution, Russian Revolution, all those things. And then there will be again Indian tribal and peasant movements. And the last few chapters are very irrelevant chapters, like the evolution of the game of cricket and hockey in India, and then about the clothing styles in different parts of the world. So I don't think that UPSC will need it. So class 9 will be very interesting, but all chapters will not be relevant. I'll do that when it comes. But now we'll focus on class 8, which is again a very important topic, that is post-independence India. It's not very much important for prelims, because prelims they don't ask questions from post-independence, but for GS1 mains paper it is very much important. Okay. So here we have a little bit of polity angle where the constitution is being framed, then we have the economic angle where the planning commission will be there, and then Nehru's policies of developing India with the industrial policy and all. So such things are there. So it's going to be interesting and very useful also. We have done this actually in the Spectrum series, chapter number 20, if you remember, Nehru's policies. So same thing again, little more elaborate way with a lot of pictures. So let's begin this. India after independence. Okay, like I told, post-independence is the theme of this particular subject, this topic. So it begins with when India became independent, what was the status? Okay, I'll just highlight on important things alone. So August 1947, you know, Mountbatten's plan happened and then India became independent. But still we don't have a constitution, but we got the authority to make a constitution now. Okay, this picture, I'll tell you what it is, but before that, if you can guess it, try to guess what that picture is about. Okay, this huge gathering of people. Now partition also happened, you know. Okay, and 8 million refugees had to come into a country from what was now Pakistan. Okay, these people had to be found homes and jobs. Then there was the problem of the princely states. You know, almost 500 princely states were there, and which was not under British India directly, but it was under many puppet rulers, you can tell, or many Maharaja, Nawab kind of concept also was there. And everybody has to be persuaded, right, to come join and form a new country. So there comes the role of Vallabhbhai Patel. That also I've done in Spectrum series in detail, including the issue of Kashmir, okay, which is still a problem now. So these problems are there, obviously, and in between that, in less than 6 months' time, what happened is, soon after independence, Mahatma Gandhi passed away. Okay, so this picture is actually about that. Okay, ashes being immersed in Allahabad in February 1948. You know, on 30th January 1948 he died. That date is about to come actually. Now today is January 18th when I am recording this. So January 30th is just 2 weeks later. And there was, you know, like he was actually not it was not a natural death. He was shot dead by Nathuram Godse. It is mentioned here. Okay, because that Hindu-Muslim issue again, there was problem. And you don't have to focus what, why and all regarding that. The statement of Nehru in All India Radio, many statements he gave at various occasions. So this time he told, like, friends and comrades, the light has gone out of our lives and there is darkness everywhere. Our beloved leader, the father of the nation, is no more. These were the words which Nehru told. Okay, Nehru was an excellent orator actually. All his speeches are also very good. There were failed policies of Nehru, that is a different thing, but when it comes to speech and diplomacy or foreign policy, he had a great vision. Okay, we'll see that. Now, 1947, 345 million is the population. Okay, and it's a divided population. So main problem was it is a divided, means it has caste, low caste, that Dalit issue. We had provisions later made in the constitution also with untouchability being banned and all. But you know, in India still Dalits have the problem facing because of the high class, low class mentality of different people. So there are problems. So main thing is the unity along with development. Okay, unity was added, the problem of unity was added the problem of development. So both has to be taken hand in hand. So that was the biggest challenge for the forefathers of India, you can tell, at that time. Now at independence, the vast majority of Indians lived in the villages. Okay, that also we know. Rural economy. Farmers and peasants depend on the monsoon for their survival, the farming sector, and so did the non-farm sector of the rural economy. So farm, non-farm, everybody depended on rural development only. Rural things only will be more, occupations or whatever. So here you see barbers, carpenters, weavers, other service groups, everything. Okay. kind of daily wage laborers, you can tell. There is no much industries and all at that time. Maybe Tisco, we saw the Tata Iron and Steel Company, we saw in the one of the chapter. So that was one company maybe where Indians had a great role, but other than that it was kind of not that much good. Okay, there were cotton textiles industries, mills and all, but it was scattered. It was not a holistic thing, or it was not spread across India. So unity development have to go in India. Hindu Muslims have to go hand in hand. Everything has to be together. Okay, so now Constitution, 1949, 26 November, in the preamble, the last line has that date. So it is not like it was done in one day or something. It took nearly 3 years. Okay, 2 years and 11 months, I think. Okay, December 1946 to November 1949. Okay, and there were a lot of people. It's not like only Indian National Congress sat there and did it. There were hundreds of people who gathered together. Here it's mentioned 300 Indians had series of meetings for the country's political future. Okay, and there were also a lot of debates and a lot of things, because many wanted to actually make it on lines with the Hindu version, because Pakistan is designed on the version of Muslims, right? Even their constitution, if you see, it is like the Allah is supreme. Okay, there's nothing wrong in believing that way, but making a country run on godly things is actually wrong. That is why Pakistan is a failed state now. Okay, we have to respect religions, but we don't have to make religion as the basis of a country. That countries will definitely fail only. Okay, unless they have some great oil resources that are like Saudi Arabia, else it will be totally failed, and that is Pakistan is the best example for that. So there were Hindu leaders recently in news. I think 1 week ago, if you remember, Ravi Shankar Prasad, the earlier telecom minister, he came up with a big book, the original draft of the original constitution. Okay, which was actually written, the first copy, that he brought to that some press conference kind of thing, and he's showing the pages. So if you see, one page it has that Tandava dance, one page it has that some Vanvas, that Ayodhya scenes. So there is a lot of Hindu related things. It was there in the initial copy, but later it was changed and made secular. So there were problems, there were things which happened in India also. I mean, on religious basis there were debates, but finally Jawaharlal Nehru and the senior leaders decided that we should have a secular line, and that is the best decision also. That is how it should be. Okay, that is why India, even after 70 years of independence, we are still one. Okay, still unity is there, because our country is managed in a secular way, secular democratic republic. Everything is there. Okay, in our preamble, if you know, republic is not there. Okay, anyway, you'll be knowing it anyway. So he'll see different features of the constitution. Okay, adult franchise is very important, because every country like UK or USA, they did this voting thing in stages only. Like first men will get voting right, then men with property will get, then like there are different conditions. Only this rich class will get, later only women got the thing. But here in India, directly everybody, okay, everybody, but that time the age was 21, okay, not 18 like now. Okay, above 21 everybody could vote. Okay, so then later with an amendment it was made like 18 years of age. If you know the amendment, tell me in comment section, so that others also will know when was the age limit reduced to 18. Okay, the voting right is actually again a picture, Jawaharlal Nehru announcing the objective resolutions. Then voting thing I told you. Second feature of constitution is about the equality before law. We know article number 14. Okay, this is what I told. It's a bit of polity angle in the beginning part of this textbook. So there again, political equality and the concept which I told, the Hindu ideals. Some wanted Hindu ideals because of Pakistan being Muslim. The Jawaharlal Nehru's opinion was, we do not want to become a Hindu Pakistan. Okay, this is the statement which he told. We do not want to become a Hindu Pakistan. Now, besides Muslims, India also had a great population of Sikhs, Christians, Jains, and all. You know, Parsis also came to Gujarat and settled, and they were the great businessmen also at that time. So there were different people. So equality before law was very much essential. Okay. Now third feature is the untouchability concept. Okay. So we saw adult suffrage, then equality before law, and third one important feature is untouchability. But we know even today we have this, like Dalits are having problems, and this thing was supported by both Gandhi and Ambedkar. Okay, Gandhi had this Harijan concept, Harijan weekly and all he had, while Ambedkar was the most important leader of Dalits, you can tell, and he even asked for separate electorates, but that did not happen. Gandhiji went for a hunger strike as usual, and then they had the Pune Pact in 1932 in the Aravada jail in Pune. So after that it was decided, like instead of separate electorate, they'll be given reservation within the Hindu community. Okay, that is how SC/ST got reservations. SC actually, and later ST also got. Okay, because the tribal groups were also facing problems. Then this again one person who advocated for the same reason, H.J. Khandekar. Okay, he told, like we were suppressed for thousands of years, V means the list would be SC only. So you engaged us in your service to serve your own ends and suppressed us to such an extent that neither our minds nor our bodies and not even our hearts work, nor are we able to march forward. So it's like we are totally suppressed because of you only. Okay. So like I told, along with them, scheduled tribes also got this thing later, reservation later. So these are the important provisions in the beginning, you can say. Okay, then we'll go to the next major topic. This picture is again, if you see, it's Ambedkar, okay, sitting there. Other personalities, I don't know who are they, but Ambedkar is there in this picture. He is the father of our constitution, the chairman of the drafting committee. In Polity textbook, they have given the chairs or the head of different committee. Okay, you should know that. Like Rajendra Prasad was the one with the maximum number of committees: steering committee, flag committee, rules and procedure committee. There are many things. Like Vallabhbhai Patel also was there. Nehru himself was the committee of the head of the Union Committee and States Committee. So you should know all these things. The next provision they are telling about the Schedule 7, which we have the Union list, State list, and Central list we have, right? The Union list, State list, and concurrent list we have. So that also they are telling, that is also a great feature in the Indian constitution. And you should know, like initially the number was something else, and later subjects went on getting transferred to here and there. Like from the state subject, I think 5 subjects were moved to concurrent list, like forest, education, weights and measures, judiciary. That is clearly given in your this thing, Polity textbook, Lakshmikant textbook. I'll also make a trick actually to remember the number of items in different lists. I have a trick for that. I'll make a video soon for that. So wait till I upload that. Okay. Then another thing is about the language. So they're just telling about different challenges. Okay, we saw different problems. Now next is the language. So obviously, you know, there was this problem of Hindi. Even now, after the BJP government has come to power, this Hindi issue has again come up. Okay. So many states, like even South Indian state, they wanted a separate land. The majority, like mainly by Andhra and Tamil Nadu. Like Kerala and Karnataka, I don't think they had that much problems at that time. But Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, which was together the Madras presidency at that time, they wanted to even form a separate country kind of thing called Dravida land. Okay, where only they will be there and Hindi will not be promoted. So finally, but later our forefathers, T.T. Krishnamachari, okay, he was actually representing the South. So there were debates, and finally official language, it was decided like Hindi would be the official language. So India don't have a national language. So this is again about Schedule 8. We have 22 languages. Initially in the constitution it was only 14 languages, and 8 languages were added in 3 different amendments. That also you should know. I know it, and we have a trick actually, but I don't want to tell it here now. We'll do it in a separate video. Okay, the trick to remember the 22 languages, and also which was added in what year and what amendment. Okay, so 14 plus 8, 22 languages are there in the schedule. You should remember English and Rajasthani is not there. Okay, in that particular 22 languages. UPSC often confuses people with that kind of questions. Then again, different thing is about the states also. States also, you know, we did not have this 29 states at that time, right? We had only I think 13, 14 states at that time, and 1 or 2 union territories. Then later different places will be acquired. Okay, by 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s. That story is also in detail given in Lakshmikant. So you should read from there, because that is the best source. Reading from NCERT will not give you the too much in-depth factual information. You will get only the story. Okay. So again, there one person is important. I will show the picture. Okay, 1 second. This guy. Okay. Polity Sriramulu. Okay, he was actually a Gandhian person, you can tell, and he was representing the Telugu speakers. So you know, that time Madras presidency combinedly had the Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. So these people wanted a separate land for Telugu speaking people, and that is how Andhra Pradesh formed. And now recently, you know, Andhra Pradesh again split into Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. But that is not language basis, that is some other issue, their own problems. That will be later. So Andhra Pradesh actually was carved out of that state, you can tell, in 1956. Actually, he went on hunger strike, okay, that particular person, Sriramulu, and in I think 58 days or 64 days or something, different textbooks tell different number of days. Anyway, he died of this hunger fasting, okay, hunger strike, you can tell. And then later, every state got their own thing based on linguistic thing. Okay, there are 2 different important committees, one in which Jawaharlal Nehru is also a part, and another there is a committee which is like headed by Fazal Ali. Okay, that 2 committees are in detail given in spectrum again. So first 3-4 chapters and of Lakshmikant, and this particular chapter which I am going through now is almost similar. Okay, it has a lot of insights into it. So try to read it just after this video if you want, so that it will be clear to you. But anyway, Lakshmikant, don't depend on any other source. I am telling you again, many people have asked me to make videos on Lakshmikant, but it is better you read Lakshmikant from cover to cover yourself at least once before prelims, and after prelims again to read it once. Okay, it will have lot of data which is needed, because last year 24 questions in prelims came from polity. Okay, 24 questions, and that too, out of that at least 15 questions came from just the first few chapters, that is fundamental rights, DPSP, and fundamental duties, and preamble. Okay, these things alone came around 10 to 15 questions, so you should know the relevance of Lakshmikant. Now again, deputy prime minister concept. Okay, that is also in debate all the time. We don't have that in the constitution, but since Vallabhbhai Patel was the people's choice, but Gandhi made Nehru the prime minister, so along with him, equal position, one more post was created, that is deputy prime minister Vallabhbhai Patel. Okay, later up to I think 7-8 years, 7-8 governments it was there, but later it went away. Okay, now we don't have this concept now. Then this is again the same story which I told you, language based splitter, so we don't need to zoom in. I'm telling you story anyway, so that is why I'm not highlighting anything. Okay, Sri Ramalu, then different commissions came, then languages came, then this again the states formation. Okay, you don't need to do it by heart, but the pink one is the the princely states, the other one is the British territory, so British India. So by the time our constitution was framed and all these committees formed, you will see like everything is gone away. There's no princely states, and then finally it will be all the proper states of India. Okay, this is the proper states at that time. But like here we don't see the Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand or Uttarakhand and also Telangana, because that all will come later. Okay, at a very later stage. So this is the map of India at that time. The present day map how it is. And then another thing now coming, now polity angle is almost over. Now they are talking about the development angle, that is the planning commission phases. Okay, so here if you see, dams were actually considered very important. Okay, Indus water treaty issue was there. Then again everywhere dams started coming up. Okay, in the Mahanadi river or in the Indus river, Jhelum river, everywhere dams started coming up, and that was a symbol of development. Planning commission, right from the time of Subhash Chandra Bose being the president of INC, that is 1938-39, they had this idea of National Planning Commission. Okay, but in 1950, after independence, officially it was formed, and then they adopted the mixed economy model also. Mixed economy model, not the capitalist, not the communist, but the mixed form. Okay, so again state. Okay, the word state, in polity also, state doesn't mean the actual state. Okay, it can refer to the country also, the nation as a whole. Article number 12 and article number 36, try to read what it is, then you will understand what is state actually in Indian context when we talk politically. Okay, so again, industries, dams, planning commission, these were happening. 1956, the second 5-year plan. 1951 to 55, 50 to 55, we had the first 5-year plan. And the second 5-year plan, we were focusing on heavy industries. Okay, that is also actually sometimes called as a blunder and all. This one is actually called, I think, Mahalanobis plan. A personality is there, a statistician, Mahalanobis. So based on his ideology, some things were done and all. But this agriculture actually declined. Majority were there in the rural side and all. But when Nehru focused more on this industry, it was actually criticized also. And we know, like by coming up till 1991, India was again dependent for food grains also, and it was totally not actually 1991 in the just before the Green Revolution, you can tell 1950s, 60s, we were dependent upon even food grains from USA and all. So that is why Green Revolution came up, and then the whole policy had to be changed. Okay, then we had that Garibi Hatao, all those things during Indira Gandhi's time, but it's still going on. Then Ganga cleaning, so many things are still going from the 60s and 70s, and it is still not completed. Okay, now the present government is trying to speed up everything with a hard deadline. They are creating new ministries for Ganga Rejuvenation Ministry, or MSME sector ministry, skill development ministry. They are focusing too much. That is why we have certain hope, like maybe in the next 7 or 10 years, India can become a superpower like the USA or England. Maybe not that much in GDP or economy, but we can become a kind of developed nation, you can tell, because we are still considered as developing nations only. Okay, always we come in the second or third category whenever nations are divided based on that. So we can come to the top list if things go well according to the present government's plan. Then Nehru's 5-year plans, again they are focusing like what his vision was. So I told you his industrial vision. He had this tie-up with USSR. Okay, he was great friends with USSR leaders that time. Most of our space missions or whatever began, initial nuclear technology, everything initially began with the support of USSR only. So here again one Bhilai steel plant is shown in Chhattisgarh. Okay, that time is Madhya Pradesh. So again in collaboration with USSR they began this, and this was considered as a very important achievement at that time, because we are getting help from others and we are entering into the industrial sector. Okay, but this person Meera Ben actually wrote like this: science and machinery is good, but in the long run it will create desolation, or it will not be good in the long run. Okay, that is what the people had opinions. And again, independent foreign policy. This please watch 20th chapter in Spectrum. I have done in a much more elaborated way the formation of NAM, that is the non-alignment movement. You know, after the this thing World War II, 1945, the United Nations was formed. The predecessor was League of Nations, which was actually failed, which was formed after First World War. Then only United Nations will come after Second World War. But that now till now it is going smooth, so we cannot tell it's a failed thing, but it is better than League of Nations. Okay, and 1945 India is also part of that founding members, and then USA and USSR, they became two superpowers. UK declined, and this Cold War started. Okay, it's part of world history. Cold War started between USA and USSR, and then both of them started launching space missions. Both of them started doing nuclear things. They were like just competing with each other, like who will go to space first, who will launch the first rocket, who will send an animal first to the space, who will send a lady to the space. So like that, many fights or many things were happening. Earlier James Bond movies, if you see, you will understand. Okay, the James Bond movies in 60s, 70s, and 80s, it is actually showing that only, because James Bond will be from UK, and he is always going and solving missions, which is happening because of the problems between USA and USSR. So that is how the movies were based also. So you'll know that's how movies help you understand history also. Okay, then again the same thing. Then I told India did not want to join both of them, both the bodies, the capitalist or communist. So they formed this non-aligned movement with the collaboration with Egypt, Yugoslavia, Indonesia, and Ghana. Okay, so Nehru along with these 5 leaders. More pictures are there in the Spectrum series. So one thing you have to understand is this non-aligned movement is not meaning isolated or neutral. Okay, because isolated or neutral, like it is different. One thing is like you don't participate in anything and you are just ignorant. Okay, but India's stand was not that. Non-alignment movement does not mean that. Non-alignment movement means being kind of a mediator, and you should be trying to resolve the problems. Okay, US and USSR, you should be equally supportive and equally oppositive also to both of them, and then you should try to bring in globalization kind of thing. That is India's stand. Okay, it's not like totally ignore everything and just focus on India. That is not India's stand in non-alignment movement. So you should know that difference. I've told that in the Spectrum series also detailed. Actually, I think he copy-pasted Spectrum author copy-pasted this thing from here only, because I saw these exact same words in that book also. Okay, now these are again the leaders. Okay, you can see here description. Asian and African countries meet at excuse me. Asian and African countries meet at Bandung, Indonesia in 1955. Okay, see the timeline. So again, this is again picture of that, these people coming together. Nation 60 years on. Okay, this textbook at that time, so that now it's 70 years. Anyway, 60 years they are telling like how you should conclude an answer for post-independence India era. Okay, this is a very good place where you get good points. So India is still united. That's the biggest thing, like I told, because small countries like Sudan and all, in the name of one particular religion, Shia-Sunni conflict, they have now become South Sudan and Sudan. Okay. So, and Yemen, there is crisis, there is almost all the Arabian countries. Okay, they have just one religion and they are fighting in the name of religious sect. Okay, so you should know the beauty of Indian democracy. These many religions, these many castes, languages, there is no country in the world where this much diversity you can get. Even in one state, like you will say, like Western UP, Eastern UP, such a big state, they will have their own culture, their own festival, their own traditions, but still it's not getting split up, right? For administrative reasons, of course, state has been broken down here and there, but that is all never become like a different country is never formed. Okay, like there were issues like Tamil Nadu wanted to go away, or Tamils in Sri Lanka, there is a problem. Okay, they wanted to come and merge with the Tamil Nadu here. There were problems like that, scattered problems, but always India has remained one. Okay, even Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan is illegally occupied some of the area, but Indian map is always officially with the whole of Jammu and Kashmir. So that is the beauty of India, the united India. Okay, unity in diversity. Because many people predicted like India will break down, okay, and will not have a nation on its own. But India proved everybody wrong. Okay, then the independent judiciary concept, we took from America. That is also there. Judicial crisis is there in news now. Try to read about it. This is actually now, that's all the good things they told. Now the bad things they are telling about the Dalits issue, okay, which is still there. Then this slums picture you can see. Okay, the world's biggest slum is there in India, Dharavi, Mumbai. Okay, and you can see background there are big buildings also. So that kind of inequality, that is still there and is always there. Okay, the entire wealth of the country is there in just 1% or 2% of the Indians. The rest everything is just people are all in the middle class or in the poor section. Okay, so Dalits issue, inequality issue, poverty issue, hunger issue. These are the negative things you can tell whenever you have to conclude the post-India things. So good things you got, bad things you got. Now this final paragraph, the constitution recognizes equality before law, but in real life some Indians are more equal than others. Judged by the standards it sets itself at independence, the Republic of India has not been a great success, okay, but it has not been a failure either. So all your answers, this is just one example of how you should write any answer in mains, okay. You should tell it is like this, we have these many challenges, but still it is this thing. Like there you should do a negative and a positive in all your mains answer conclusion. In our raw series also, please go and watch the raw series, at least 10 days answers I have written, 30 answers will be there. Three answers a day. So everywhere I have given good introduction and conclusion. It will help you develop the skill of answer writing. Okay. Sri Lanka, I told you that they have this Sinhala language and also the Tamil language, Tamil in the northern part of Sri Lanka. So there always civil war have been happened. Many movies are there based on this, about the Sri Lanka issue, the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, Prime Minister. These things are all in movies if you see, right, then you don't need to read the text itself. Okay. Madras Cafe, I think is the name of that movie. John Abraham acted. He was like in the raw agent or something, and in that movie they show the Sri Lanka civil war and also how it came to an end, and then the Rajiv Gandhi assassination. Like intelligence, there was a report like we can actually prevent it, okay, but they did not take correct steps, and then finally Prime Minister was assassinated. Okay. Here questions, fill in the blanks are like not very good questions. Okay. Role of planning commission not required now, then subject in union list, state list and all. There are a lot of objects, but true or false maybe you can do. At independence the majority of Indians lived in villages. That is true. The Constituent Assembly was made up of members of the Congress party, so that is actually false because we know everybody was there. In the first national election only men were allowed, that is also false to vote. Okay. The second 5-year plan focused on heavy industry, this is true. Okay, so 1 and 4 is A and D is true, B and C is false. Okay, so I come up with the next class, that is class 9th, which is world history soon. Till then give your feedback, enjoy your learning, thank you and have a nice day.